right. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Hi, everybody. I am Jason Schubach. I am the dean of the best college at Drexel University, the Antoinette Westphal College of Media Arts and Design. Give it up for Westphal. Let me hear it. All right. I have a couple incredibly important things to do. The first is to give a huge congratulations to these students. Let's hear it. Give it. Okay, I want to hear it. Give it up. You don't got to clap for yourself. All right, students, this is a very important thing. You got to give it up for your families that have supported you through this whole journey. I want to hear it from you all. Okay. And I have one last point of incredibly important business, and that is for everyone to give it up for the incredible faculty and staff at the college that have brought you along in this journey. Let me hear it for them. All right, we are going to have a great show, the best show. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your incredible hard work, and I get to introduce now the one, the only, Rob Lowe. Just kidding. Rob Lloyd, your program director of game design and your host for today. Give it up for Rob.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to showcase. I got to do this one little thing because I'm going to forget if I don't do it right now. Wait here. They're coming for you. Wait here. It's very important. Okay. I need 4 arms for this show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. This is the 25th annual Digital Media Showcase and Expo. And my 10th, and I am really tired. I have a story to tell you, but I'll keep my story brief because today is really about the incredible 15 projects that you're going to see today and almost 100 students involved in making those projects. But again, 25th annual. So let's talk a little history here. There'll be a quiz later, so take notes. Glenn Muschio, where are you, Glenn? Glenn, you're out there? I can't see you through the spotlight. Hey, Glenn! Glenn started it all. Graduated our first class in 2000, and we've just kept going with the decades. You can see all the different programs and the variations, the name changes when we became our own department, and our head of department, Michael Wagner, took over, and we all did all sorts of fun and exciting things, and it's been quite the adventure, and lots of students. You can see in the lower corner there how big we have grown, from 20 students to almost 500 or more. So we get bigger and bigger every year. And the classes have gotten bigger and bigger, and the faculty have grown. Glenn is that top blue line all the way. Glenn, you're not allowed to ever retire. You just got to stay here forever. So you'll be able to take a look at these graphics made by Troy Finnemore. You'll be able to look at them a little closer during the expo on the table over there. Really worth looking and getting a sense of the history and the longevity of this program. But let's get to the stuff that we're really here for. This time last year, just like right now, there are a whole bunch of juniors getting ready for their senior showcase this time next year. This time last year, that whole cohort over there was starting to form teams, cook up ideas, and imagine all manner of ways that they can get themselves in trouble and into some really good adventure. Some people came along the way and helped them. So Jervis and Troy helped with the user experience and interaction design teams. And then we had Milady, Nick, Alexis, and what's that guy? It's a tall guy. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hey, Dave. And then on the game design and production side, Frank Lee, Ari Goss, Tony Rowe, Jeff Salvage, and Philippos Vokalos from the College of Computer Science and Information Technology, and then that weird guy at the end that looks like me. All of these people worked on and on and on with the teams, helping them craft their stories, helping them cut down their scope. They all had massive, massive dreams. The incredible work you're going to see here today is a fraction of what they originally shot for, because they shot for the moon. And they didn't steal it completely, but they came pretty close. Well done. But our faculty changes sometimes, and I want to take a moment to call out one of our faculty who will be leaving us. Alexis has been with us for the last couple of years, and she's been an incredible addition to the team, but she is off to greener pastures beyond this year, and we will miss her, and we wish her the very best in her next adventure. But thank you so much, Alexis, for getting us to where we are today. So how did all this craziness begin? Like I said, this time last year, they were coming together to ideate and pitch their ideas. They were thinking about these things, these stories they wanted to tell, the emotions they wanted to drag out from their audience, the adventures, the problems they wanted to solve. They were building these stories, and they experimented, and they planned, and they broke those plans, and they built new plans. And they fought and continued to fight the good fight to come up with this, get this project to where it needs to be. And it's not a simple thing. There's a long, long process of pre-production and planning and building that pipeline, bringing all your tools together, making sure everything works the way you expect it to, and then actually building it during the winter term. So this is at least a year-long effort, what you'll see the results of today. And some of them have started even earlier. But let's get to the good stuff, shall we? Well, this is a theater of sorts. It is a theater today. So please silent your cell phones. Please, no flash photography. This is being live streamed to YouTube. Hi, Internet. So you'll be able to enjoy this at your leisure in the future. But let us begin with our first team, and that is going to be from our game design and production program. Starworks Studios is going to bring you their project, Boast Guards. My driver. Booyah!
Ready? Go. Hello, everyone. We are Starworks Studios, and we are super excited to show you our game, Boast Guards. Now, before we dive in, let's show you a little teaser of what we have in store. Now that you've seen a little bit more about our game, let's get into the team behind the game. My name is Ethan Whiting, and I am the producer.
I'm Thomas Luden, the marketing lead.
Bridget Lepker, UI artist.
Owen Mearns, 3D artist.
Braden Kovalovich, tech lead.
Carolina Escobar, 2D artist.
Quinn Williams, animator.
Cameron Schroeder, art director.
Colin Page, programming lead. And I'm here representing the rest of our coding team. Sophia Oliva, Luca Ruggieri, Gabe Curran, Chris Fluta, and Jonathan Alf.
I'm Idan Saban, design lead.
And I'm Vigo Jaban, game director. So, welcome to your new job as a Boast Guard. In this cooperative party game, play as a squad of prideful lifeguards and work together to keep your chaotic beach safe, clean, and most importantly, famous. In our game, your score is fame. Start your run with up to 4 players and boost your fame by cooperating or sometimes competing to rescue drowning swimmers and complete lifeguarding duties. Experiment in our vibrant sandbox to create the best fame-generating strategies with your friends so that you can keep up with your fame quota by the end of the day and make it to the end of the week without getting fired to win.
As a Boast Guard, you'll have to keep your eyes peeled on the water, as unsuspecting swimmers will wander to the ocean and start struggling after some time. It's your job to bring them back to shore and save them. Watch out though, if swimmers struggle for too long, they will become zonked. This is a code red situation which could lead to an incident which would be real bad for your fame score. Just stay vigilant and work with your fellow Boast Guards. In the world of Boast Guards, saving swimmers is always about risk and reward. Saving a struggling swimmer would be considered a minor scare and grant you a decent amount of fame. However, saving a zonk swimmer, now that's a heroic maneuver that will grant you tons of fame. Just watch out though, if you get too cocky, it might all start falling apart.
We added the dynamic mechanic of throwing and catching to make the game even more cooperative. If things are looking dire for a swimmer in the deep end, you can hoist them up and launch them to the beach. Fellow lifeguards in the landing zone can catch at just the right time to get an extra burst of fame. You're sure to turn the heads of beachgoers by completing bonus lifeguarding duties, such as throwing away beach litter or playing Keep It Up with a beach ball.
Welcome to Creature Cove. In classic Baywatch fashion, we drew a ton of inspiration from modern California beaches. In particular, we chose the vibrant, natural beaches of sunny Santa Cruz as our setting. Now let's meet our beachgoers. Say hello to the lifeguard. Don't let his appearances fool you. You play as one of these sharky creatures as you keep your beach safe.
Next up is our first and most basic swimmer, the normie. These little guys will appear on your beach every day and get themselves into all sorts of trouble. The first special swimmer you'll meet is the lunk. This swimmer is known for their heft, and if they get in trouble in the water, you might need a couple extra hands to reel them back in.
This rowdy swimmer is the bro. He spends his days haphazardly throwing trash around the beach and diving in while the waves are rough. This is our most experienced swimmer, the pro. The pro feels at home in the deep end and will often spend much of their day out there, even at their own peril.
Managing all these swimmers can be pretty difficult, so we designed 3 equipable gear items for players to use to make saving swimmers easier and more efficient. First are the flippers, which allow you to dash in the water, very helpful for quickly getting to swimmers. Next is the life ring, which you can use to grab other swimmers, throw it out like a lasso, and then reel them in wherever and whenever. Finally, the most iconic lifeguard thing. The whistle allows you to boost other lifeguards' speed and bring swimmers to shore.
As players get used to our chaotic beach, we introduce bigger challenges. The narwhal whale will follow this guy, zonking anyone on impact. You'll need to gather the whole squad to drag it back into the water in return for a magical thank you that refills your stamina. Towards the end of the week, be wary of the deceitful sunny skies, as a tornado may suddenly form, and nothing is safe from its path to destruction.
The players are rewarded for each day they advance through a run by selecting a pin. Pins are upgrades that allow the player to choose the type of play style they want to lean into. This feature added tons of replayability and was definitely the most fun to design. Pins can not only be acquired through play, but through our Between Day shop. The pool of shoppable items contains everything a lifeguard needs, including our full array of gear. The shop is randomized after each day, pushing players to make choices attuned to their strategies.
Our incredibly talented composer, Jonathan, created awesome dynamic melodies that align perfectly with the chaotic moments that happen in-game. And I had the chance to work with him and the rest of the team to self-record some of our voices to give to our beach a lot more personality and its beachgoers. Let's take a listen to some samples right now.
Nice. Tubular. Whoa! Yeah!
As you heard, we wanted higher fame gains to give a lot higher dopamine feedback. And as a cool musical touch that you'll hear if you come play it at the booth, if your squad is about to lose, the music may take a surprisingly stressful turn.
With Boast Guards, we set out to design a game we could work on beyond senior projects. An important factor of that was working with our team's skill set and vibes with a genre we found to be popular. Ultimately, we ended up meshing roguelikes with party games, as this unique combination of genres leaves players coming back for more. A huge thank you to all the playtesters that made the design aspects of this game possible. You found new and refreshing strategies, leading to chaotic moments that made players laugh out loud.
We also want to extend a warm thank you to all the advisors and faculty that made our game come to life, including Rob Lloyd, Frank Lee, Tony Rowe, Adrian Sandoval, Steven Denisevich, and Dan Rose. So now that you've learned all about Boast Guards, scan our QR code to follow us for more over the summer and come down to the Expo floor to play Boast Guards for yourself. Cowabunga!
All right, well
Thank
done,
you.
well done. Nicely done, Starworks Studios, Boast Guards.
Skip to them.
All right. Next up, Sleep Deprived Studios brings you Falling into Frame.
Hello, we are Sleep Deprived Studios, and we worked on Falling into Frame. My name is Marcela Bernal, and I am the director and environment artist.
My name is Haley Gerhardt, and I'm the animation lead and story artist.
I'm Sydney Kang. I'm the composite lead and the rigger.
I'm Marcella Martin. I'm a character lead and texture artist.
I'm Casey McCaleb. I'm the look development lead and character artist.
I'm Julian Wainkamp, a modeling lead and texture artist.
I'm Nicole Moreno. I'm a modeling lead and texture artist.
And I'm Sophie Yoon. I'm the rigging lead and an animator.
So we created a trailer for a hypothetical film based on this pitch. After a magical painting sends June and Robert to a mysterious forest, they must learn that the best path is the one taken together. As they race against time to return home, will their love rekindle once again?
Our project began with creating designs for Rob and June that expressed their personalities.
We planned our trailer with a series of drawings called storyboards, then added movement and timing to the storyboards to create a very rough draft called an animatic. Then, using frames from the animatic, we painted color keys that would guide the lighting and design team forward.
Rob was given key features such as a resting frown, thick brows to furrow, and a stumpy build. These were essential pieces we translated over during modeling to make sure he had the ability to convey the essence of a grumpy old man during the animation phase.
To contrast Rob, June started off as tall and slender in the concept art, which was translated into the modeling phase. Once we got to animating, she began to come to life even more by taking on a classy, confident, yet bubbly personality, while showcasing different emotions throughout the trailer.
And then Glog was meant to be the cute little companion character that guides the pair throughout the forest.
One challenge was to figure out what to do for the clothing. At first we tried to rig in Maya, but we found it too stiff, so we used Houdini and cloth simulations instead. Now, since the beginning, we wanted a combination of 2D and 3D, and we did this through our characters' painted eyes, but this required a unique system during animation and the final assembly, so we used a combination of Maya and After Effects, and here you can see some of our process.
In Maya, the look was achieved for the rig. In After Effects and Unreal, we recreated the animation for image sequences for the final look to appear seamless.
The antique shop setting was a way to reflect on our characters' ages and also showcase our work. We were also able to enhance our transition between worlds with 2D effects such as our paint strokes and portal transition. The layout
Through texturing, we set out to make a unique hand-painted look for each environment. The antique shop was inspired by watercolor sketches to portray a duller mood. Our interpretation of the style includes light hatch marks, broken up washes of color, a paper texture overlay, and a sketchy outline shader made in Unreal Engine.
For the forest, we wanted the modeling, layout, texturing, and lighting to exude magical vibes. It needed to differ from the more realistic setup of the antique store, while also inviting the audience into the place they would want to explore further. For each variation of the forest, each shot required meticulous work to capture the intent.
We transitioned into oil painting-inspired surfacing for a brighter mood. Thick, rounded brush strokes, scattering colors from the environment into our assets, and vibrant colors define our interpretation of the style. We also added a canvas overlay and post-process filters emulating broken up edges and atmospheric perspective to enhance the painterly feel.
We used Unreal Engine to render so we can make edits overnight with our animations and Houdini simulations. We were also able to edit in real time with lighting and effects.
We rendered out 3 separate layers of the background, particle, and character plate before compositing them all together in Nuke, where we got our final look.
And that is all. We want to thank you all, and thank you to Milady and Dave for all your work and help throughout this project. A thank you to our friends and family, and to Alex Polanski, our sound producer.
Well done, well done. All right, thank you very much. And a beautiful project falling into frame. Coming up next, you can meet the team coming on. We have from the Game Design and Production Program, the Fools Guild, and their project, Charming Folks.
Hear ye, hear ye.
We are the Fools Guild.
I'm Ellis Poole, the project manager.
Jordan Morris, creative director and character artist.
Quinn Alpern, editor-in-chief and writer.
I'm Eric Trung, the game developer.
I'm M. Kowaleski, concept artist and marketing lead.
I'm Nick LaFerrera, UI designer.
Devin Lonnie, head writer.
Jeremiah Cisco Randolph, the sound designer.
And Aaliyah Varela, our environment artist.
And this is our game, Charming Folks. We set out to make a fantasy visual novel game. an interactive choose-your-own-adventure story. You get to read along, solve puzzles, and make choices along the way. But we wanted to tell a story that people would like. So we did our research. We studied our market, our players, and we found they wanted 3 things. First, a magical world to explore. Second, heartfelt character moments. And third, a relatable, down-to-earth story. You don't always have to save the world. It's the big milestones and little moments that matter. Now, after a year of hard work by our team and special help from our sophomore background artist, Aaliyah Varela, we brought this world to life.
Our story takes you to the peculiar town of Spellspring, far from the bustling city you know. While magic is a known tool in our world, the inhabitants of Spellspring still manage to stand out, a trend that catches a certain scholar's eye. You play the role of an apprentice, eager to make it as a real wizard. But first, you must finish your thesis. You come to the town to see the wonders for yourself, interview one of the locals, and answer your last big question. What does magic mean to you?
In Spellspring, you encounter 3 unique characters. Through your research, you will have them you will learn about their past and have them possibly join you in your future. A lot of time went into figuring out exactly what our players liked and what character archetypes worked. After all of the research, we ended up with these 3. First, we have Vale, a cleric who attends to the abandoned abbey outside of town. What exactly are they doing out there?
As you get to know them, you'll learn more about their troubled past and the magical curse that hangs over them.
Next, we have Aaron, a laid-back falconer who resides just outside of town with their mystical bird companion, Jasmine. What is the deal with this peculiar duo?
Find out how chaotic this duo is and learn about the circumstances for their union. Join them on the hunt for their dreams and desires.
And last, we have Cecil, the eclectic and bizarre mayor of Spellspring. But just who is this charming fool?
Discover their connection to the town's past and the burdens that come with authority.
The key to our character art was a ton of iterations. Of the characters that we had, Cecil and Jasmine took the most, and we took in a lot of player feedback in order to come up with designs that we both liked and that felt memorable to everyone around us.
With a visual novel, it is not just reading through the story, but playing through it. Using the Ren'Py engine, a popular choice for visual novel development, we use interactable puzzles to keep the players involved. One of these is the jigsaw-like puzzle, which we took from a very simple version to a more complex feature with rotating pieces and a greater level of difficulty and skill. Code-based animation is used to show our characters' personality. Their portraits are animated from side to side and closer to further, giving them a sense of movement and a uniqueness of personality. In this image, the dissolve and duplicate effect creates the gesture character, showing the personality.
Bringing together art, writing, and mechanics, our storytelling experience has to feel good too. In Charmin Folks, you are not just a passive observer. You make choices, ask questions, and solve puzzles to unveil more of the story. Wherever we could, we made our UI diegetic, looking and sounding as if it actually exists within the world. Our menus and dialogue resemble a journal, which the apprentice would use frequently, and which captures the storybook flair of our setting.
When creating Spellspring and our overall experience, the audio design was something very crucial to consider, as the sounds being heard will ultimately enhance the feelings that we wish with heartwarming and magic feeling across the board. Some of our background tracks, including this one right now, will consist of music samples that were mixed with sound effects to not only invoke this feeling of magic within Spellspring, but also to enhance our characters.
With that, we wanted to give a very special thank you to our professors and our mentors who guided us along our way, including Dr. Ari Gass, Rob Lloyd, and Perry Santulli, as well as a very special thanks to our playtesters and our peers who gave us so much of their time, their feedback, and their thoughts over the past year. With that, we wanted to invite you to scan our QR code to visit our website or go to the link directly where we have more info on our team, behind-the-scenes work, and where to find our game, as well as you can visit our booth after the showcase to try our game for itself or to get some of our stickers. Thank you so much. We are the Fools Guild. This has been Charming Folks, and go Birds!
All right. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you, Charming Folks, brought to you by the Fools Guild. Woo! All right. That brings us to our next team from the User Experience and Interaction Design Program project and team, Juncture.
Hi everybody, we are Team Juncture. Before we get into the presentation, we'd just like to give you a little preview about what we've been working on. Once again, we are Team Juncture. Thank you all so much for being here today. So let's get started. I'm Durando Angulo. I'm the project manager.
I'm Jill Tracy. I'm a UI UX designer.
I'm Nikki Sandeep. I'm a UI UX designer.
I'm Alexander Lukács. I'm the researcher.
I'm Anush Tanwar. I'm the developer.
And I'm Leo Jorge. I'm the other developer. So, what is Juncture? At its core, Juncture is a calendar app designed to make planning social events easier. With Juncture, users can create and invite their friends to events. Then, Juncture will automatically compare everyone's connected calendar schedules in order to suggest the best possible time for people to attend. Afterwards, attendees can share their photos within Juncture in order to keep those event memories all in one place. Juncture was born out of a struggle we've all dealt with, finding a common time for social engagements. Whether it's busy schedules, unresponsive group chats, or everyone just using different scheduling platforms, this search for the perfect time is more difficult than it needs to be. Additionally, we'd all experienced frustrations when it came to sharing photos after social events. We agreed that everyone would benefit from a space for all of these important memories without the hassle of tracking them down from friends. But before we got too deep into creating Juncture, we knew that we had to do our research first.
Our first step was to explore how people actually experience social planning. Through our initial research, we looked at what works, what doesn't, and why. Across 137 survey responses and 27 interviews, a clear pattern began to emerge. We learned that many young adults have a strong desire to remain socially connected, but find that making plans with friends can be very frustrating. Our initial research aligned with our suspicions. The main problem is finding a time that works. This problem gave us opportunities that other solutions don't currently address. First, we wanted to make planning with friends feel effortless, even when schedules don't line up. Second, we saw a chance to eliminate the need for scheduling conversations in group chats altogether. and instead focusing on designing something that makes coordination automatic. And third, we wanted to treat shared memories as part of the event experience instead of as an afterthought, and make them easier to access and save. For both students organizing around busy class schedules and young professionals protecting a free weekend, Juncture removes the headache from social planning by focusing on highlighting free time, eliminating group chat chaos, and providing a shared space for memories. Juncture solves for both their problems at once.
Now let's explore how Juncture makes event planning easier, starting with group availability. When creating an event, you can relax and let Juncture find a time that works for everyone, taking the pressure off you to coordinate schedules. During usability testing, users mentioned that the way this feature was presented felt overwhelming and confusing. Since group availability is essential to Juncture, we made it our top priority to improve its design and clarity in our high-fidelity updates. Taking a look at our final designs, group availability now emphasizes simplicity. We introduced filtering for selecting preferred dates and times, along with 2 different views. This allows you to choose whichever format works best for you. Users responded positively to these changes, finding it easy to find a time for their event. Next, we will look at other aspects of Juncture's experience.
At its core, our app is a calendar that holds all of your social events, past, present, and future. You can sync your personal Google Calendar account, letting Juncture show an accurate representation of when you're free and busy. This helps Juncture find the best availability for you and your friends. The calendar was built so you can see your event info at a glance, including your RSVP status and who will be at the hangout, keeping you both updated and organized. Looks like there's a new invitation. Invitations feature everything you need to know about an upcoming event, as well as your availability. On top of having an organized calendar, users found value in having an easy way to access all of their invitations, both past and upcoming. Let's say you want to check out your new invitation. Open the invite to officially be in the know, and send your RSVP in one quick tap. On this screen, you can see notes from the event creator, check out who's been invited and planning to attend, and ask questions so everyone's on the same page. As our research discovered, photo sharing after an event can be a frustrating process. To solve this issue, each Juncture event has a unique album attached, so everyone can upload all their photos in one spot, and download them too. By prompting users to upload their photos after an event and having an organized timeline of albums, Juncture enables a stress-free process of collecting photos and memories.
But how did we build Juncture? Making our vision of Juncture has been a great learning experience for our developers. During this process, we have gained new understanding of familiar tools and technologies and learned new ones as well. There are a few major pieces of technology that make up Juncture. Firstly, knowing we wanted Juncture to be a mobile app, we used React Native, a mobile-first framework for our front-end development. For our additional code logic, we have a Python backend server, and our server connects to Nihilus, a service that syncs Google Calendar with Juncture. And finally, we are using Google Firebase for our data storage, keeping all the information we need in one place.
But where do we go from here? Our team is incredibly happy with the state of Juncture, but we couldn't help but wonder where we could take this project if given more development time. One of our initial ambitions was to have calendar syncing across all major platforms, not just Google Calendar. If given more development time, we'd like to work on focusing on pursuing the integration of these other major players into Juncture, like Apple or Outlook. Additionally, we only actually developed Juncture for our iOS phones. We'd like to focus on bridging this gap and allow Android users to also experience our product. And finally, we'd like to look into commercialization and monetization opportunities for Juncture. While we haven't had too many of these conversations yet, we recognize the value in reflecting on where we could take Juncture from here as a viable product. Our team is extremely happy with what we've done in these last 10 to 12 months. Over dozens of hours, hundreds of hours, dozens of meetings, and lots of debate and reflection, we've all learned so much, both technically and interpersonally. I can say for certain that the individuals standing before you are some of the most talented designers, developers, and researchers I've had the pleasure of working with. It would mean a lot to us if you took a moment to visit us at the Expo and test out Juncture for yourselves. And finally, we'd like to take a moment to thank our families, friends, and professors for their constant support from start to finish of this massive endeavor. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you very much. See you at the Expo.
Well done, Juncture. Well done. All right. Well done once more for Juncture. User interaction. User experience and interaction design, UXID. All right, that brings us to our next adventure, brought to you from the game design and production program. Cryptid Studios brings you Spiral Peak.
Hello, everyone. We are Cryptid Studios presenting our game, Spiral Peak.
I'm Ian Garvin, the producer.
Zell Stark, creative director.
Sergio Jimenez Piera, the writer.
Sky Peterson, character animator. Noah Canosa, programmer and level designer.
Christine Kwong, environmental artist.
Monty Robinson, the technical artist.
Casey Hazeza, UI designer.
And Robert Pacheco Montes, the sound designer.
Not here today is our CCI group, Jolene, Devin, Hunter, Sam, and Zach.
When I moved back to West Virginia, I wasn't expecting things to go downhill quite so quickly. I just wanted to do right by my mother, but doing so might have cost me my love. Hell, I might have cost us everything. There are things in those woods.
In Spiral Peak, play as Elmsy as they grapple with one of the most destructive decisions of their life, returning home to West Virginia to settle a family emergency. When an argument with their spouse, Willow, goes bad, she disappears for a hike into the mysterious woods of Spiral Peak. In the face of perilous cliffs and unearthly forest dwellers, can Elmsy win back the love that they have sworn to fight for?
Well, Spiral Peak will have you climb across precarious cliff sides. As Elmsy, you will also scale the metaphorical wall that is your struggling relationship. The forest and its inhabitants seem to guide you towards newer and grander perspectives on what it means to love and respect those around you, and it is your choice whether or not to take that to heart. If you do choose to do so, you must prove it with your actions.
The game has a total of 7 2.5D animated cutscenes, all of which are rendered with a scratchy line art style and a limited palette. This is meant to feel both restrictive and dreamlike as the player bounces between them and traditional 3D gameplay. Within these cutscenes is a whole host of characters, both creature and human. This is the Magalam, an amalgamation of lost souls of animals, plants, and even humans that have lost their way in Spiral Peak. This is the Knot, an omnipotent forest god that takes inspiration from the Appalachian legend of the knot deer and the real-world phenomena of wasting disease. How you treat these creatures ultimately decides yours and Willow's fates. Willow is an avid outdoorsman and the beloved wife of Elmsy, and your journey back to her is guided by Tooth, a very goofy guy that also grew up in Boonesville, but who unfortunately died in a climbing accident of his own.
In Spiral Peak, you play as Elmsy. Loyal and headstrong, they are a non-binary person who grew up in the small town of Boonesville, West Virginia, right by Spiral Peak. For our 2D character designs, we went with a more comic look. Then to translate that over to 3D, we saw a more stylized, painted look that complements the 2D without looking too flat in 3D space.
Don't forget to do your stretches. These are some animations Elmsy can perform after standing still for a bit, giving extra insight into their personality and behavior. Our climbing system is driven by several handcrafted animations. There are 9 reaching poses and 8 pulling animations for each arm, totaling to 34 unique animations that bring our climbing to life.
Climbing wouldn't be possible without levels to climb in, and Spiral Peak has 3 of them. The first level takes you through a typical Appalachian cliffside trail. Here, Elmsy will encounter their first climbing challenges and chase the voice of the ghostly Tooth. Our second level has Elmsy venturing through an abandoned mine shaft. Diving into the darkness, they'll have to cross deathly pits, avoid falling rocks, and grapple with the lurking Magalam. In our third level, Elmsy is transported to a dreamlike plane somewhere between our world and the unknown. Elmsy is directly challenged by the Knot to overcome all the trials they've faced so far and more, encountering obstacles like downward climbs and moving platforms.
With the story in Spiral Peak being choice-based, there had to be some way for the player to better understand the consequences their actions might have. To remedy this, these documents are scattered across the game which provide insight on the woodland cryptids and their unique properties, allowing the player to better inform themselves in a much more narrative-friendly manner.
We wanted to give an ominous and mystical feeling to the game, so we incorporate aspects of the forest into the UI design.
Here you can see our game in action. As Elmsy, you'll hike through the Appalachian wilderness. Along the way, you'll encounter artifacts from previous hikers that can help with climbing or allow you to learn more about the supernatural nature of the woods. Every level has a variety of climbing challenges. Our climbing mechanic is designed to allow you to think more about each individual move you make, like actual rock climbing, rather than just pushing a button to climb. At the end of each level, Elmsy encounters a supernatural inhabitant of Spiral Peak in our 2D cutscenes, where you must make a choice that decides the fate of Elmsy and their wife.
And to make our environments reflect our story setting, we use foliage that are specific to the West Virginia Appalachia, such as shortleaf pine, red maple, and Virginia oak.
To create a unique style for Spiral Peak, the look of the game was based on the illustration process, going from a sketch to a painting.
And the sounds of this game will keep your ears out for the normal and the abnormal, from regular bushes rustling to the rocky climb of the cliffs to the horrifying cries of the Magalam and the uncanny bugles of the knot. Ugh. Anyway, so you'll not only see, but you'll hear how this forest isn't all that it seems.
We'd like to thank all the amazing Drexel faculty who have given us feedback at all stages of the game, and a special thanks to our team's advisors, Jeff Salvage, Rob Lloyd, and Dr. Ari Gass. We'd also like to thank our collaborators, Adriana Deeb, Jay Jiang, August Pettibon, and our music producer, KJ. We'd like to thank you for your attention today. To learn more about Spiral Peak, scan this QR code to visit our website, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations. We'd love to see you at the Expo afterwards to play the game yourself.
Well done, Cryptids. Well done. All right, I'll take that. All right, excellent. Spiral Peak awaits you at the Expo. Try not to meet the Magalam. Next up, from Animation and Visual Effects Program, Steal the Moon Studios brings you Medusa and the Pilot.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are Steal the Moon Studios, and today we are presenting a trailer for our story, Medusa and the Pilot. We're gonna get that started for you right now. Please enjoy.
In my country, soldiers are pirates. Opportunists. Thieves. They call me a monster. Is that what kind of soldier you are? No.
That traitor destroyed my entire battalion in cold blood.
The ones that came here before you were not good men. They all met the same fate. I'm not a man. That does not make you good.
There are very bad people who are going to come here. When they do, they will destroy everything.
I look forward to it. I loved war long ago. She turned me into a weapon. A cannot allow you to suffer the same fate.
All right, my name is Kaylin Street. I am the director and compositor for this project.
My name is Grace McLaughlin. I'm the producer and lighting designer.
My name's Adriana Deeb. I'm a 2D animator, the visual effects lead, and the motion graphics lead.
My name is Colton Jones. I'm a 2D animator and 2D artist.
My name's Jay. I'm a foliage artist and a set dresser.
I'm Benjamin Egler, and I'm the 3D set artist and set designer.
My name is Emmanuel Benebo, and I'm the 3D organic modeler.
So when we were designing this, we wanted to create 2D characters in a 3D environment, which is something that Drexel hasn't seen before. However, this is a technique that has been used for decades in Western and Eastern media. You've probably seen it used in movies much like Beauty and the Beast and Spirited Away.
But before you can start animating anything in 2D or 3D, you first have to make your storyboards. We spent about 6 months finalizing ours. We wanted to explore female characters who do bad things. So we didn't want to shy away from showing violence on screen, but we also wanted to emphasize the softness and emotional complexity of our characters through their environments.
And we have early concepts of our character designs and their color schemes to differentiate them throughout the trailer. Our main character, Aranis, dressed in blue to portray her rebellion, has bandages covering her eyes, now blind from the crash. Medusa and her face tattoos show her transition from human into Medusa, accompanied by her snakes that help protect her from people like Perseus, our main villain, and his soldiers.
Our 2D animation team used Photoshop to animate our plates, which were then brought directly into Unreal Engine. That way, they can receive light and cast shadows directly in the environment. This, along with our additional detail passes, enabled our characters to be more fully integrated within the environments. Our process started in summer, where we conducted our reference footage, and then into fall did our rough animation and polished line art. In winter, completed all coloring and detail passes, and then left any final enhancements for spring.
We wanted our environment to feel as faithful to the storyboards as possible, and so we conducted research by looking into the location and the objects that were in the storyboards. We then used that information to create 3D objects that we could then put into Unreal. After that, it was just a matter of texturing and iterating until we felt that our foundations were in a strong enough place that we could begin to flesh out our scene with decorative objects and foliage.
For our organic modeling, our main focus was the statues. We wanted to capture the airy feeling of the forest scene by posing them to have the expressions they would have like right before they died, and also giving them cracks to show that they've been there for a long time. For the other models, such as the tree, the lily pads, and the mushrooms, we painted them in a 2D way to match the 2D animation.
It was important to our project for our environments to look lush and lived in. For us, this required making a variety of plant assets ranging from large trees to medium bushes to small weeds and grasses. After taking our 2D plates into Unreal, our hard surface models are placed into our 3D sets in order to stage each shot. Then we use a variety of methods to populate these barren scenes with foliage, making sure to adjust each asset's placement in order to assist our shot compositions.
When designing each of these shots, we used both realistic and stylized lighting to better differentiate the time that the shot took place, whether it was a flashback or in real time. We focused on creating dynamic and emotionally charged lighting sets to better ground our story, and we used that through the use of color as well as atmosphere.
To give our project that literal impact, boom! We used 3D visual effects directly in Unreal Engine's Niagara system. This includes simulations for fire, smoke, gunfire, and explosions. We also created a post-processing filter, which gave our backgrounds a more hand-painted feel, again, to assist with that integration. Finally, we did a compositing pass, which took all of our lighting, visual effects, and final renders, and put them together to create that stylized graphic novel look of our trailer.
And finally, this project could not have come to life without the collaboration of students in our cohort, alumni, faculty, advisors, voice actors, and of course our friends and family. So with that being said, we just want to say thank you so much to all of you for watching our trailer, and happy Pride!
All right, Steal the Moon Studios, well done. Woo, excellent. Medusa and the Pilot, coming to theater near you soon, I hope. All right, well done. And now we are going back to the game design and production program with FitForged and their multi-platform workout app, BenchQuest.
Hello, everybody. We are FitForged, and this is BenchQuest, a mobile app available on both Android and iOS. We're very excited to share this with you, but first, let's meet the team. My name is Jason King. I'm a programmer and project manager.
I'm Lisa Lung, a 3D environmental artist.
I'm Adrian Bernalis, character designer and 2D artist.
I'm Parker Stewart, 3D character artist.
I'm Luke DeSerafino, one of the game programmers.
And not here with us today is our CCI team, John Ferrioli, Rob Simmons, and Torrin Middlebrooks. Please enjoy our trailer. Workout, level up, and clear dungeons. BenchQuest is a one-stop shop for workout tracking and fun.
Our game is an exciting and fast-paced infinite idle dungeon. Each level of the dungeon provides the player with various ways to play and progress. Moreover, the player can choose how they want to play. For more passive players, watch as your avatar prove their skills beating up enemies with our automatic battling system. For more engaged players, use your skills and inputs to get in on the fun. Any directional attack will release a devastating strike on the enemies and bosses. The player has 5 skills to choose from and combine to inflict twice as much damage. We encourage you to discover what playstyle works best for you. Speaking of, the player will need a place to upgrade their way of play. This is the dojo. Small, deceptive in perspective, but effective, made just for a vertical UI. But where you go to test out your new power? Just head to the dungeon door, your go-to place for more punching bags.
Inside of our dungeon, you'll encounter hordes of enemies that you need to fight through in order to earn gold and move on to the next floor. The deeper you go, the stronger they'll become.
Our first enemy is the kettling. This sentient kettlebell won't hesitate to throw its whole body weight right at you.
Next up, we have the quadling. They're still in their eggshells, but don't underestimate their killer kicks.
The Callous Crusader is a step up in power from our previous enemies, packing a deadly punch with its dumbbell weapons.
Our last normal enemy type is the Deadlifter, the vengeful skeletons of fallen adventurers looking to turn you into one of them.
And for our first boss, we have the Quadfather, who will use its overwhelming strength to put your run to an end.
And our next boss, the Abdominator, with literal rock-hard abs, who'll crush everything in its path.
Increasing your stats is directly affected by your ability to consistently track and log your workouts at the gym. Using our workout builder, the player will be able to create workouts based on their own routine. Track valuable workout stats such as exercises, reps, sets, and weight. You can also save your workouts for multiple uses to always ensure an efficient and effective workout. Finishing a workout successfully contributes to your player's XP. You can translate, once you level up, you can translate your hard work into our game by beating up on our dummy at the dojo. Every time you level up, you get to choose between one of 4 stats to increase: HP, attack, defense, and attack speed. Buffing your stats translates to a more fun time in the dungeon, so we hope that you will get to the gym often. You can also personalize your character with 8 different body features with sliders, and you have control over the character's skin color, hair color, helmet color, and clothes color. And you can use these to create your character however you'd like. We also offer a library of skills for the player to use to enhance their gameplay experience. The player can only bring 3 skills into each dungeon at a time, so be sure to choose wisely before entering. Every skill needs to be unlocked with gold and can be upgraded as well. This is to motivate the player to continue spending time progressing through our dungeon. We hope you will enjoy unlocking and maxing out all of our exciting skills. So now, let's take a look at each one.
This is the protein potion, taken at a pinch for instant gains and a health boost to keep you swinging.
With our Fire Fist ability, get ready to throw hands, specifically one giant one that burns through the competition.
The calorie burn ability creates an area of effect that will leave enemies sweating bullets and taking bonus damage while they do.
The Shockwave ability is great for dealing big area damage to hordes with one seismic slap to the face.
And finally, the Power Lift ability grants a temporary bonus to both attack and defense. This specific skill is great for bosses. At this point, we would like to say thank you to all of the faculty and students and friends and family who have helped us along the way. Thank you. And if you have any other questions or would like to try the game for yourself, scan the QR code, visit our website, or come see us at our booth. Thank you.
Well done, Fit Forged. All right, work out to bench quest today. See if you can escape the dungeon. We are going to move right into user experience and interaction design with the team and project Mend. Woo! Oh, that's right. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
Hello, everyone. We are Team Mend, and today I'd like to start out with a question for you all. Please raise your hand if you or someone you know has ever been to physical therapy. Now, keep that hand up if you or that person has ever struggled during the recovery process. Well, like many of you, I am one of those people. I'm currently recovering from my 7th knee surgery over the course of 10 years. And in those 10 years, I've had different injuries, different surgeries, I've gone to different clinics, and I've had different physical therapists. But one thing was always the same. I lacked motivation. Now, this motivation can be broken out into a few areas. The first is at-home support. Like many of you know, a big part of recovery is actually completing your exercises at home. But guess what? Those paper packets and those video demos that every clinic gives you just isn't enough. Similarly, we have accountability. When patients are at home, they need something that is going to push them to do their exercises. But their physical therapists can't follow them home to encourage them, and those paper packets just aren't motivating. Now, finally, we have progress stats. Physical therapists spend so much of their time taking measurements and typing things into their computers to make updates about a patient's recovery. But guess what? Patients don't get to see any of this. They're stuck trying to remember how much they could bend their knee or their elbow last week, not knowing what goals they have to complete and when, and having no clear indication that they are improving. I knew that I couldn't be the only one struggling with these issues, so the team took this to the field to get more information firsthand.
We conducted surveys and interviews with physical therapists to gain insight into the data that they tracked and the motivational techniques that they used, as well as patients to gain insights into their experiences during recovery. One patient insight stood out to us in particular.
They said, "There was no one to tell me if I was getting any better or stronger.
I just got a printout of exercises and was told, "You got this," clearly demonstrating that this patient was lacking insights into their progress and the proper support needed to progress in their recovery. But these problems didn't arise for just this one patient.
When looking at our patient survey and our user interview group as a whole, we found that 0% of participants saw progress data throughout the recovery. Yet physical therapists are clinically required to be tracking some sort of progress data for each and every one of their patients.
Additionally, 90% of participants felt unmotivated during their recovery process, despite physical therapists having multiple motivational techniques they use to support their patients. Because of the drastic nature of these stats, we knew we needed to craft a solution that addressed all three areas of this motivation problem. Let's take a look at how we did this through a short video introducing our solution and how it is used.
Meet Jake. He got injured biking to work. It's not his first time recovering, and motivation has always been the hardest part. This time, he's starting fresh with a new physical therapist and Mend to guide him. Jake opens the app for a check-in. His pain is high. He's not feeling optimistic, but seeing others' success stories gives him hope. At home, Mend walks him through his exercises. When he completes them, he unlocks an achievement and builds on his streak. He feels accomplished. As the weeks go on, Jake's physical therapist unlocks new goals. He can see the numbers, his strength is increasing, his range of motion is improving, he's doing better than he thought. Months later, Jake looks back at his recovery journey. He remembers the pain and doubt, but also how Mend kept him motivated. Now he's stronger, more determined, and finally, back on his bike. Recovering is hard. Staying motivated shouldn't be.
So, now that you've seen how Jake uses Mend, let's take a deeper dive into our features to see how we address the three areas of the motivation problem.
The first area is at-home support. As you saw in the video, Jake followed along with guided exercises and was able to check in on his pain and mood all from home, giving him the extra support he needed to progress in his journey. For even more support, Mend offers tone customization, so you can always be in control of the type of motivation you get. With both patients and physical therapists noting the benefits of using words of encouragement versus tough love, we knew that our tough and kind tone feature would offer the at-home support patients needed to thrive. Next is accountability. Jake kept himself accountable through streaks and achievements that encouraged him to complete his exercises. And he was able to unlock goals to stay on track for key milestones in his recovery timeline. And finally, progress stats. With recovery metrics like range of motion and strength, exercise stats like total reps and total sets, and check-in metrics for your pain and mood, Mend shows a full picture of all the progress you've made. And if you want to see that over time, just like Jake, you can view monthly recaps that compare your progress across different points. Whether you're improving or not, Mend will show you the facts in a way that keeps you motivated. These are the features that make up our solution, but of course, we needed to make sure that Mend actually motivates people, which we decided to test through a live web app.
To build our web app, we chose Svelte for our backend and front-end frameworks to work efficiently in one coding environment. We used VS Code as our code editor, and we used GitHub for our version control. This integrated seamlessly with Westphal, which we use for our web deployments and hosting.
For data visualization, we incorporated D3.js in order to create dynamic and interactive graphs. Meanwhile, on the back end, we relied on Firebase for data authentication, user authentication, and analytics in order to create a scalable backend for us. And with this fully functional web app, we were well prepared to move on to validation testing.
During our testing, we wanted to validate overall motivation with the use of Mend, but also how each of our features played into that motivation. Our at-home support features motivated around 90% of patients. Our incorporation of progress stats motivated 100% of patients. And our accountability features motivated around 95% of patients, which validates each and every one of our features.
But most importantly, all participants noted an increase in their motivation of approximately 50% after using Mend compared to when they started physical therapy, demonstrating that our sentiment of recovery can be difficult, but motivation shouldn't be, is not only true, but also attainable with Mend. None of this would have been possible without each and every person up here today. I'm Gianna, project manager.
I'm Benji, the UX researcher.
I'm Dane, the UX strategist.
I'm Cam, the UI UX designer.
I'm Alexis, one of the developers.
I'm Sabrina, the other developer, and thank you so much for listening. Please come check out Men on our table.
All right, Mend, excellent project, well done. Thank you for sharing today. All right, I feel better already, but challenged to work on my lower back exercises. Now, from digital media and virtual production program, Gaslit Productions brings you Reverie. Driver? You're the driver? You're the driver.
Hey everyone, we're Gaslit Productions, and we produce our live-action virtual production vignette, Reverie.
Hi, I'm John Galonis. I am the director and the lead sound effects.
I'm Nikki Justishin, the project lead and lead technical/IC VFX artist.
I'm Yet Do. I'm the lead VFX and environment artist.
I'm Matthew Sherfain, lead environment artist and post-production.
And I'm Amara Gordon. I did the motion capture and animation.
Our pitch for this is a girl searches her grandmother's attic for a cherished scrapbook. As she flips through its pages, her imagination brings the photographs to life. Each page transports her through environments, capturing the spirit of her grandmother's adventures. And here is our short.
So we used Unreal Engine 5 to create environments that would blend with the real world. Each environment was created to contrast with the other. We also used Gaia, a node-based landscape generator, to create detailed environments.
And to further bring these environments to life, we use a variety of tools to help populate the scene. So for instance, on the left, you can see us painting manually all the trees in our jungle environment, which gives us creative liberty over how we want to compose our scenes. And on the right, for the desert scene, we use a procedural generation system that helps us fill in a bunch of buildings and palm trees in a very quick way. And for some of our scenes, for example, the volcano, we use some visual effects to really push it to the next level. For instance, we have a bunch of fire, a bunch of smoke and atmosphere to give it that lively effect, as well as a simulated volcanic eruption to kind of give it that boom.
We also used photogrammetry to digitize and scan real objects, turn them into 3D objects, and add them to clutter our scenes.
To help blend our digital and real world, we ended up using DMX lighting that was programmed inside of Unreal to match the virtual scenes. This allowed us to then blend the two worlds. We also ended up having a single button solution to transition from one scene to another for our transition shots. We also used in-camera visual effects, or ICVFX, where instead of having a green screen in the background, we had an LED wall with Unreal Engine generating our environments live based off of the camera position. This allowed us to capture everything in camera for some of our shots rather than having to composite out the green screen and replace it with the digital background in post.
And using the motion capture system inside the studio, we were able to track the camera into Unreal Engine in order to get perfect animations. We also used the Manus Metagloves for hand animations, so we got nice finger animations there.
With the motion tracking, we were able to get a unique shot where we actually faked a 180 where the camera was actually standing still and Amara was standing on top of a turntable that we were tracking the rotation of. As we spun it around, that turned the digital camera and our background to make it look like the camera was rotating fully around her.
For our grandma character, we used a virtual meta-human that we dressed up in different outfits and hairstyles for each of our environments to give her some variety. And we made all of her animations using motion capture as well with the Vicon camera system in the studio, which you can see in action on the side over there.
And to finally bring it all together, in our final stage in the compositing, we combined 3 different types of shots, the media play shots, which we rendered directly out of Unreal, with our green screen and LED wall shots. In the stage, we basically were able to key out, match colors, and make sure that all of the different plates were all in the same world. And this is the final step that kind of polishes our work and brings you Reverie.
And as always, we could do none of this without the help of our advisors, as well as music from Isaiah Lee and logos from Andrew Castro, and all of you for coming to our showcase. Please stop by our booth after this during the expo to sign our scrapbook. Thank you for coming.
All right, well done, Gaslit Productions. Excellent. That is one boss grandmother. All right, we are going to go to our next stage, and that will be No Name Productions, which is a mixed team of a number of digital media students from game, animation, DMVP, and all to bring you their story, Impatient.
All right, hey everyone, we're No Name Productions and we'd like to welcome you to our experience, Impatient. Before we get into the details, I'd first like to introduce the team behind this. I'm Dylan Morales, producer and character artist.
I'm Titi Ekinsami, creative director and cinematographer.
I'm Vincent Arways, I'm technical lead and environmental lead.
I'm Simone Beamer, animator and script editor.
I'm Kevin Grant, 2D artist and programmer.
All right. Rock out to our interactive animated music video, Impatient, a song written by Drexel's very own alumni, Cheap 52. Follow along Scribble, an aspiring musician ready to risk it all to make his dreams come true. This octopus hat-wearing singer is the main character that drives our story forward. All while the band's drummer, Scrabble, lives life carefree. Will the two work in tandem to make it to the big stage, or will they lose themselves along the way?
When we all first heard Impatient, the lyrics spoke to us of this deeply troubled and uncertain individual. We wanted to create a world to tell the story of how his personal perception of himself begins to color the world around him in unsettling ways. Given the songwriter is from Vermont, we drew on the juxtaposition between industry and suburbia, as well as the lush forest fields and flower fields of Vermont for our key nature motifs to parallel the growth he experiences along the way. Is he making the right decisions? He doesn't know yet. And as our story mostly takes place entirely inside of a car, a stylized 1952 Chevy Deluxe, a nod to the band's namesake, our piece has no dialogue. The environment becomes the storyteller. It shifts color, structure, mood, and color to reflect the song's emotional arc as well as the character's journey. By setting the story in a car, we anchor the viewer in a confined but dynamic space where a change is felt through the atmosphere. It puts the audience in the driver's seat literally and figuratively. The choices become the story, where the smallest details can shift the entire narrative.
We felt it vital for the story to invoke the emotions of being surrounded by change and still feeling stagnant. Our setting being in fall, for example, expresses the rebirth and new experiences that the player will endure during this journey. And one of our biggest inspirations was the monarch butterfly, as it is also time for them to leave their breeding ground and into unknown and treacherous adventures. As you may realize, our characters are a bit strange looking, and the world is a bit too realistic for them. This is meant to highlight the surreal, dreamlike quality of their world and relay the tension between quality and fate. For our storyboards, I wanted to make it clear that the two were fated to one another, and escaping was never truly an option. The grievances would have to be set aside for the chance of fame.
Our experience concept being a road trip played to a song as a music video, we had to design the world so that both the road trip and the song could line up. In our narrative, we had points of interest that we wanted to hit, and we wanted to hit them at specific moments in the song. In the end result, we came up with this horseshoe layout for our experience. Not only because being a horseshoe, it bends back on itself, that helped condense the world and make it easier to work with, but also because the twisting roads help us iterate over the world and make things feel real. Once the points of interest were created and the road was finalized, we could add the background landscape elements and fill out the world. For our visual style, our experience aimed to replicate a mixed media sort of painterly brush style that was heavily reliant on texture work. This stylization choice to work with brush textures was because we wanted to have the sort of dull, worn-out look that we ended up with play into the sort of dull, worn-out feelings of the narrative and also help the world feel more dreamlike. Our texture process was designed not just to be stylized, but also efficient to author and scalable, able to work for small assets and the large landscape assets.
Here are some of our 3D assets, primarily modeled using Blender and Maya. All were developed with a simplified aesthetic so we didn't overtax our projects by also fitting internal producer capacities.
For our animations, I really wanted to showcase Scribble and Scrabble's personality through the way that they move. Scribble, though level-headed, is a bit jittery in his movements, constantly trying to balance his focus on being the best and focusing on Scrabble, who is slower in his movements and frankly, just more chill.
Since we haven't fully Bandersnatchified our experience, we focused on creating high-energy shots and visuals to capture the tension between our characters and the environment itself. These carefully crafted moments and visuals mirror the emotional highs and lows of the song and bring intensity to the experience. While it's no longer a real-time experience, it is still packed. It is still immersive and visually driven. It is fast-paced, dramatic, and intentionally a little bit surreal to match the heady, emotionally charged energy of Impatient.
Before stepping onto the big stage, first pack up all the equipment before the big show. We specifically designed our opening sequence to be more interactive to help you, the viewer, be more immersed within our story. We chose this because we wanted to take a new direction on the way music videos are produced. This is the ignition to our story and calls for you, the driver, to drive the narrative forward.
And without further ado, we'd like to introduce our trailer for our project, Impatient. We hope you enjoy. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'd like to give an extra thank you to the external partners and advisors who helped us on this project as well. To our partners, Will, Paige, Colton, Mackenzie, and Rebecca. We greatly appreciate your efforts towards the project. And to our additional advisors, Ari, Rob, Mark, Dana, Nick, and James. We greatly appreciate all your guidance and would not be here without you guys. We'd also like to give an additional thank you to Chief 52. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your song on our senior capstone project, and we were thrilled to collaborate with you guys. Finally, one last thank you to everyone here. Thank you so much for your time. If you're interested in experiencing more, please scan the QR code at the top. And if you're interested in just the song, we have the QR code at the bottom as well. We'd love to see you at the booth. Otherwise, have a great day and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
No Name Productions. Well done. All right. I gotta learn to play guitar. All right, coming to you from User Experience and Interaction Design is Team and Project Tandem.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are Team Tandem. Before we dive in, I'd like everyone to take a moment to think back to a time where you felt profound love from or for someone. Maybe a partner, a family member, or a friend. These feelings are powerful and can last a lifetime, and our mission is to help people cherish these connections forever with the people that matter the most. My name is Samiha, and I'm the project manager.
My name is Kara. I'm the UI lead and secondary PM.
I'm Cecilia, the UX researcher and content manager.
I'm Judy, the UI designer.
I'm Paul, the graphic designer and interaction developer.
And I'm Amr, the lead developer.
From the start, we knew we wanted to build a product that helped foster intentional connection. Our original idea was to introduce a digital companion for couples to raise together. But in a survey with 21 young participants in committed relationships, 61% of them said that they have used virtual pets before, like Tamagotchi or Webkins, and said that they weren't really interested in sharing that type of responsibility with their partner. The concept was interesting, but the virtual pet often felt more like a chore, sometimes even a stressor in their lives, rather than a helpful companion.
3/4 of our survey respondents had used the word care when describing their experience with a virtual companion, but many of them had also highlighted significant frustrations with it. While they liked the idea of nurturing after a virtual pet, this just wasn't the direction we needed to take for a couples building app. They want that sense of care to feel more meaningful, impactful to their relationship, and more natural to tend to, not something that becomes a chore over time. So to truly foster that loving connection, we needed to find a way to seamlessly integrate into our couples' lives and find a way to bring them closer together. And that's when we knew we needed to pivot. And in that same survey, 50% of our respondents had identified their partners as a significant source of motivation in their lives. So that told us we didn't need to try and gamify motivation with a virtual pet. We just needed to harness that existing motivation within a relationship and make sure it's present in all of our features. While our initial idea was backed with research, that does not matter at the end of the day if it doesn't resonate with our audience.
So we focused on creating a digital environment where that existing connection could grow naturally. We had to find a space that was cozy and intuitive for tech-savvy couples in healthy, committed relationships. We worked to find an identity that was warm and fun, but not childish and overwhelming. It took us a few iterations, but we took inspiration from the feeling of nostalgia that couples felt with Polaroids, sunsets, and scrapbooks to help shape our visual identity.
Using Svelte for our front end and Spring for our back end, we were able to complete our core functionality by the winter. This gave us time to refine our product in the spring.
Now let's see what Tandem looks like in action.
Your relationship is a special thing, and we believe it deserves its own special space.
Smile. Oh yeah, that's a keeper.
Johnny and Lillian have made lots of memories together. Whenever they want to recount them or make new ones, they go to their own little nook.
Wait, that was a month ago. Feels like it was just yesterday.
Well, you know how time flies. Oh, and then we went to the aquarium. That little baby octopus was so cute.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check out that art museum. Would you want to go? I should be free this Saturday if you're down.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty. Oh, our anniversary's coming up next weekend.
Hey, you're right. Should we celebrate at Giovanni's?
Oh, good call. Man, I can't believe we've been on 100 dates already.
What's not to believe? I like you.
Well, I guess so.
Did you see the daily prompt?
Yeah.
I think it's when we do movie nights snuggled up on your couch. You're a good movie pillow.
Yeah.
That's where I feel at home.
Yeah, it sure has been a great year. I don't know, should we be thinking about taking next steps?
How about this?
Awesome.
Your loving moments are worth capturing. Make and save them together. Tandem. Love in sync.
And that's Tandem in a nutshell. We provide a digital scrapbooking space where you and your partner can become more in sync and grow intentionally together without altering your existing routine. But how exactly does Tandem play into that existing routine? Well, for starters, Tandem encourages you to reflect on the past by letting you and your partner upload your favorite photos and enjoy automatically generated or custom-made recaps of your special moments together. It's designed to rekindle warm feelings from the past and help you feel proud when you see how far you've come together. But we want to encourage more than just reflection on the past.
To help celebrate the present, couples can earn built-in or custom-made badges to help commemorate their love. We also offer fun and relevant prompts to spark new conversation for partners who already know each other well.
And of course, Tandem supports future growth and planning with our integrated calendar and shared goals. Couples can stay in sync with each other's lives and work together towards their joint desires. Whether it's a big goal or a small goal, we want you to go towards it together in tandem.
As users continue to use Tandem, their timeline will grow. Their timeline serves as a curated visual story of a couple's journey. This in turn will strengthen the time they spend together.
To put our product to the test, we conducted a 7-day diary study with 3 sets of committed couples. By the end of the test, all couples and participants said that they would recommend Tandem to other couples, as the users say that the features bring alignment in feelings or goals, add easy structure, and brings you and your partner closer together. Thank you. After 2 market research surveys, 6 usability tests, 2 research validation surveys, and 113 survey participants, we are able to validate our final design for Tandem.
Tandem 2.0 would use machine learning to customize the experience for each couple. It would use integration with calendar apps, social media apps, and photo apps to further enhance the user experience. This would play into our philosophy that Tandem should be an extension to a relationship rather than something completely new. However, that's Tandem 2.0, and we are proud to share with you what we have today.
We want to thank our professors for supporting us through every twist and turn, and the lovely couples who participated in our research. Thank you again for coming out to see us today. We'd love for you guys to stop by our booth at the Expo for some treats and insights. We'd love to show you more about Tandem, our process, and how you can love and sync.
All right, well done, Team Tandem. Excellently. Well done. All right, thank you very much, Team Tandem. Next up from the Game Design and Production program, we have a strategy RPG, Tyranny of Substance.
Good afternoon, Philadelphia. We are Unbidden Games, and this is our project, The Tyranny of Substance.
I'm Gregory Back, producer, narrative, and code lead.
I'm Leo, I'm our lead artist.
Oh, I'm Jonathan, pixel artist.
I'm Thander Quinlan, the 3D animator.
I'm Sid Harvey, UI designer and sprite artist.
Alex Ayo, music producer.
And I'm Maya Barr, creature designer and character artist.
And we would like to start with a brief teaser of what our game is about.
Moscow has fallen. A decade of war has torn our beloved homeland asunder. The victors fell upon us, drawing their lines wherever they pleased, but we have not forgotten what we have lost. To the tyrants, the butchers, to the hagglers who betrayed their own, we will take back our home by fire and sword from the imperial yoke and the wretched dominion. You will know this: the Commonwealth is not lost so long as we still live.
Ours is a niche genre, so we feel we owe you a bit of an explanation. A strategy RPG is a turn-based tactical game where you control multiple characters, also known as units, all at once on a grid-based map. Our game features something we call the advantage system, wherein one successful kill grants an extra action. However, this applies to both you and your foes, so while this rewards aggressive play, it punishes reckless positioning, as one defeated ally could easily snowball into many fallen friends. We also added firearms, putting the flintlock in Flintlock Fantasy. These have high range and damage, but require an action to reload after every shot, and also have lower accuracy. Our setting is based on Europe on the verge of the French Revolution, however, with technology frozen in the high medieval period due to tyrannical medieval aristocracy. Despite this, certain ideas such as authoritarianism gain prominence thanks to firebrand books approved by said aristocracy, such as the titular Tyranny of Substance. The player follows Augustin, the prince of a constitutional monarchy based on Poland that was wiped off the map 10 years ago, as he tries to restore his people to their rights, despite being hunted by monsters sent by the occupiers.
We wanted our game to be reminiscent of, we wanted the aesthetic to be of a Baroque painting. With this in mind, we designed both the maps and the characters with a painterly flair. The characters were already designed with specific vision in mind, so we touched each of them up with this art style of choice. When in-game, characters will interact with each other through cutscene dialogue. Displayed here are two of our main characters. Let's meet them. This is Prince Augustin, our lead commander who wields a battle axe. He holds an angry persona fueled by his traumatic past. This is Tatiana, Augustin's love interest, the Cossack queen. She is a powerful unit with the ability to be kind and gentle with Augustin, healing him in his darkest moments. You can meet them and many other characters along the way when you play through our game.
Now, who is responsible for Augustin's past and fury? This is Vaunt, one of our main antagonists. His goal is to wipe out all who oppose the new order. He's part of a vicious monster race called the Stains, once humans who have mutated into a zombie-like state. The Stains, alongside Svant, are just a glimpse into some of the foes you will find in our game.
I worked alongside Greg and Leo to condense our rich character designs into smaller, more easily digestible forms for gameplay in the form of pixel art. By creating a standardized sprite template that can be applied to all characters, I could expedite the creative process without sacrificing quality. As a result, when players look at our map, they will know who's who from a glance. I also helped create battle backgrounds that you can find in cutscenes and gameplay. Not only do these provide artistic flair, but they also tie in directly to terrain sprites, like the city buildings you see here. These encourage players to interact with environmental effects, such as roads giving you higher movement speed, and forests making you more evasive.
Here's a look at one of our 3D characters and animations utilized in the battle sequences of the game. 3D models emphasize enhanced player immersion in the fight, emphasizing character rules and with the texture designs and their battlefield presence. We tried to find a way to blend the 2D pixel sprites with 3D elements and ultimately decided on the style to merge the old and with the new.
In battles, two units face off in one-on-one combat. These battles play out automatically, but the outcome is decided by your character's stats, determined by their class, level, and gear. Pay close attention to these stats as they're shown on the screen as battles play out, to further inform your strategy and ultimately win you the day.
When creating the music in the game, we decided to go with orchestral and acoustic sounds to match the gritty and fast-paced nature of the game. In contrast to that, we also wanted to make sure to really get to underscore the emotional undertones that happen throughout the entire game and its storyline. And to do this, we blended natural sounding instruments like trumpets and violin with dynamic gameplay and dynamic sounds that match up with the emotional narrative along with the experience and gameplay for the entire user.
Players are treated to still images that convey pivotal moments for the character and narrative in between gameplay segments. These were designed by myself alongside Leo and Greg to truly resonate with players. They also provide insight into the different factions and the enemies they may send at you.
Now, all this and more would not be possible without the help from our advisors and professors, namely Rob Lloyd, Tony Rowe, Adrian Santonal, Dan Rose, and the Drexel Game Dev staff. We'd also like to thank all of our playtesters, family, and friends, hi Mom, who helped us along the way. Thank you very much for listening. We can't wait to see you at the booth during the expo. Up here, you can find a QR code so you can visit our website. And if you ever find yourself in a position where you are being hunted down by a tyrannical government and several of your friends have been murdered by a monster, you should probably go to therapy. Just this thought, just go to therapy. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
We've been practicing for like a month, and every time he has something different at the end of the presentation. Yep. Oh, I don't want that. I want that one. I want the stick. The stick.
I aim
Thank
to
you,
please.
Unbidden Games, for the tyranny of substance. All right. We're now moving on to another user experience and interaction design project, Subletta. I can't remember who's the driver. Thank you. I forgot who the driver was. Who's the driver?
Yay, I'm so glad I got my internship. Oh no, it's all the way in Philadelphia. I haven't even thought about where I'm gonna live.
Ah, who are you? Where did you come from? Don't worry about me. You need to worry about subletting. You need a platform that's simple, safe, and personal. Have you tried Subletta.com? Subletta is a rental platform that is designed specifically for sublessors and subtenants. You can search and use filters to find exactly what you're looking for. Oh, this looks promising, and it has the amenities you're looking for. This might just be the one. You should save it to your favorites. You can even check out potential subtenants to take over your space while you're away.
Hi, I'm Sasha, and I'm looking for a place that's furnished and pet-friendly. But how do I know Sasha's a real person? I totally get it. I made sure to verify my Subletta account with my email, phone number, and student ID. That was so quick and easy. Thank you so much for your help.
Don't thank me. Thanks, Subletta.
Hello everyone, we're Team Subletta, and before we get started, we want to first introduce ourselves. I'm Lauren, I'm the project manager, and on our dev team, we have...
I'm Tosin. Josh.
And I'm Vandam.
And on the design side, I'm Preeti.
I'm Leanna.
I'm Avani.
I'm Sasha.
And I'm Christina.
When we first set out to find an idea, we thought of common problems in our friends' and families' lives, and subletting was something that came up again and again. Most people use social media or generic listing sites. However, these platforms don't overlook the real challenges of subletting. The process is confusing, it can be risky, and can even lead to bigger legal issues. That's why we created Subletta.
So our target audience for Subletta consists of young adults who are students or still early in their career with a primary focus in Philadelphia. Within this group, we have sublessors who are people looking for someone to take over their lease and subtenants who are people looking for a place to stay. This primary focus in Philadelphia is due to our initial scope, but our solution is built to be scalable to support other cities as well.
And so, keeping this in mind, we approach this problem with an iterative design process, focused on the user's journey starting from the initial search to the communication stage. To understand the needs and behaviors of our users, we gathered quantitative and qualitative data spanning surveys, interviews, and usability testing on our mobile and desktop platforms. Through our research, we determined that there were 3 key areas of concern that we needed to focus on. First, many platforms are not dedicated to subletting and are frustrating for our users to use. Second, many of our users have a hard time trusting these platforms and the people that come with it. And third, many of our users are subletting for the first time, which can be very challenging.
In order to solve for these issues, we came up with 3 key solutions. First, we offer catered search results that not only create a personalized experience for people looking for a place to live, but also for people looking for a tenant to move into their place. Then we have a verification process that ensures that our users can feel confident that they're communicating with real people and can also avoid scams. And last, we take a guided approach that educates our users on the full end-to-end subletting process.
Now, let's take a closer look at how we provide our users with the full flexibility to search for the things that they value. The main way we approach this flexibility was with our 2-way search experience. This means that not only can users list and look for sublets, but they can also browse and connect with potential subtenants that are actively looking for a place. In our user interviews, we heard from people that it can be difficult to search for specific types of people. And that insight really helped shape the creation of this feature where both parties can take initiative to find the perfect match between sublessor and subtenant.
Our research also showed that users want a more catered search experience. That's why we created search tools such as the drawn map feature, which allows users to create custom boundaries on the map. Additionally, we created a robust filtering system with common criteria such as price and place type, but also unique filtering options such as lifestyle preferences. Another main pain point 60% of our users had was that they felt a lack of trust with existing platforms. That's why we want to prioritize verification so that our users felt comfortable whether searching for a sublet or a subtenant. As you can see at the top of our profile cards, we clearly display verification types such as student, phone, and email verification. We also have a space for user-generated bios and shared interests so users can learn more about potential roommates and build rapport.
And lastly, with Subletta, we take a guided approach to help new sublessors and subtenants navigate the subletting process with ease and confidence. We do this with 3 key ways. The first one is our visually guided onboarding experience, which introduces users to Subletta as a platform and the subletting process as a whole. Next, we have our helpful tooltips that are strategically incorporated throughout the platform to provide clarity when and where users specifically need it. And lastly, we have our Learn section, which is full of articles and guides to help users feel confident and informed as they go through their process.
We use lots of different technologies to create Subletta. For project management, we use Jira as well as Microsoft Teams. For goal setting and task assignments, for design, we use Figma, FigJam, and Mobbin. For wireframing and brainstorming, and for research, we use Qualtrics as well as Microsoft Forms for surveys and interviews.
For development, we decided to go with a React front-end, a Spring Boot backend with Postgres as our database. For development operations and hosting, we are using GitLab and AWS. And to enhance user experience, we are also utilizing external APIs like WalkScore and MapWalks.
Moving into our development milestones, our first goal was to build a workflow so that users can create and view property listings. These listings include key details such as price, location, amenities, as well as user-uploaded images. And next, we've focused on a map search so that users can draw custom search areas or filter by radius. And we've also implemented an address autocomplete as well as reverse geocoding so that listings can update in real time as filters change.
The third development milestone, smart enhancements via external APIs. The goal here was to enrich each listing with useful data and prepare for AI integrations. And to do this, we added neighborhood insights. Each listing now pulls WalkScore data, allowing users to see how walkable, how bike-friendly, and how transit-accessible each location is. The fourth development milestone, feedback loops. The goal here was to improve the user experience. And thanks to the authentication with JWT-based authentication, we can now have users stay logged in more reliably and also have them stay more logged in with Redux Persist.
Looking forward, we have several features planned, starting with AI integration. We want to include an AI assistant, scam detection, and a smart recommendation system. We also plan to support contracts and payments, including e-signatures for your lease agreements and in-app payment for rents and deposits. And finally, in order to strengthen community and trust, we will be introducing a review and rating system along with profile history so that users can build credibility over time.
Thank you to our friends, family, and professors for supporting us throughout this journey. Please stop by our table to learn more about Subletta. Thanks for listening.
All right, well done, Subletta. Excellent, well done. Home stretch. 2 more projects we have for you today. First, from Animation and Visual Effects, is Bug Boys Productions with their The Sweetest Prize.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Bug Boys Productions, and this is our short film, The Sweetest Prize. To start off, my name is Hector. I'm our character animator, environmental designer, texture specialist, and lighting artist.
I'm Cameron. I'm the character animator, modeler, storyboard artist, concept artist, and lighting artist.
I'm Connor. I rigged and modeled the mantises and created 3D visual effects. I also assisted with the lighting.
And I'm Xavier. I did ant rigging. I'm a texture specialist, sound engineer, layout artist, 2D VFX artist, editor, and compositor.
The original...
In the undergrove, a contingent of ants have made an extraordinary discovery. They march towards a lollipop, its succulent surface basking in the sun's rays. Some, far too enticed by the sugary treasure, have failed to see it as a trap. watch in horror. Startled, the little morsels scatter. The ants, however, have a champion. Though tiny, this ant's bravery endows him with great strength. Try as he may, the ant is unable to penetrate the mantis's armor. Despite his effort, the ant is eaten by the mantis. I said the ant is eaten by the mantis? That's certainly one way to do it. Huh? The ant is running in! Holy shit, he's going for a finishing strike! What the fuck just happened? Hey, excuse me, you said you needed a voiceover for a documentary? Why did you call me over? You can't just blindside anyone like this. I don't think the ants do this kind of stuff.
We were originally inspired by the story of David and Goliath, and we decided to put our own spin on it by just turning all the characters into bugs.
This is a bit of our process. Like many other teams, we started with a storyboard or animatic where we timed out the different animations and the composition of each shot. Then we animated stuff in Maya, so that's what you see in the second row with the ant models and the mantis models. Okay. Then we took those animations into Blender, where we applied the environments and the textures to all the models, and then rendered out the final, which you see in the third row. These are some of the character concepts. We have the mantis. The highlighted parts are where we wanted some bendiness to the rig, which is kind of where you control the characters for animation. And for the bullet ants, we made the eyes a bit bigger than usual and added some brows for more expressiveness, since ants aren't usually that expressive.
All right, and this is Petals, regular version, who is based on the Devil's Flower mantis, the largest known living mantis on Earth, and as such plays into the whole Goliath idea. Alongside that, the range of colors helped separate them from the background. And this is the stylized version of Petals, which was designed to make him look much fiercer, and while also amplifying the sharpness of the design, which is especially noticeable with the scythe-like claws.
This is Bullet. This model took about 3 weeks to do. The textures were done by Hector, and we added a sort of war paint to set this model apart from the regular ants that you see in the scene. And on the next slide, we have the Anthro version, which is a sort of like humanized version that we wanted to do for a more comedic punch. Textures are also pretty similar, and we got the head with the large eyes for the expressiveness and a sort of Dorito chest for like the heroic posturing.
For our short, we had two main styles. One being the regular style, everything looks lifelike, as you would see in real life, of course. And one being the stylized style. We have a teal background and a super hot red, along with 2D VFX to give it that extra punch. And here are some concept arts of our style differences. And below, we have the first render we ever made for the realistic style.
And the way we developed our scenes is we used a collection of 3D scans, which included 3D scanned ground, textures, pebbles, anything we needed to develop a realistic scene for our animations.
And this is the dust cloud transition, which was done by separating the cloud itself from the rest of the scene, which allowed us to save time on rendering. This also gives us the ability to create it into a much more cartoony, stylized version that you can see here. And then the explosion was done through a mix of simulations that were used to create the fracturing and the goo.
A huge thanks to our advisors, Milady, Dave, and also Nick. And a huge thanks to all you for coming out and seeing us. Our stand is right over there in the corner. Come see us.
Really amazing. Excellent job, Bug Boys. And the reason our live stream is rated T for teen. All right. Thank you very much, Bug Boys. Well done. Woo! All right. And our final team for the night. It feels like I've been at this for a very long time today. Is the sun still out? I know the wind is still kicking up, so it's putting in its 2 cents through the vents. What's your need? Velcro? No, it's Velocity, right? Yes. Velocity by Water Cooler Fish. Woo!
We are Water Cooler Fish, and this is Velocity. I'm Shaylee Seacrest, producer.
Amanda Gonzalez, art lead.
Jasmine Crespo, mocap lead.
Anastasia Lachard, environment and VFX artist.
Daniel Inaba, character and environment artist.
Lily Ferguson, environment character artist.
Jess Philo, character rigger and environment artist.
Nick DeCola, 3D artist.
Jun Chen, UX and UI designer.
Bennett Gauthier, audio and music designer.
I'm Randy Modlin, programming lead. Sadly, Andy, Rui, and Matthew can't join us today.
Hi, I'm Dante. I'm not here today.
Nam Nguyen, a programmer.
Our presentation today contains bright colors and flashing lights. Viewer discretion is advised for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Now let's take a look at our trailer. Welcome to Velocity, where skill meets skates, hits your face. In this race for dominance, momentum is power and flair wins fights. Engage in trick-fueled combat to knock out your rivals and take control of the city, one district at a time. Skate fast,
kick ass!
Velocity takes place on Earth, but in the year 3000, where the government has divided the city between the luxury above and the struggle below. Now, they pin everyone against each other in a skating competition, where the only way to rise up is to fight for control.
Our characters are the heart of our game. 4 skaters with big tricks and even bigger personalities. They're separated into 2 classes. Lights, who skate faster but deal weaker hits, and heavies, who hit harder but sacrifice some speed. And with over 260 voice lines, they don't just fight. They talk, taunt, and react to the world around them. So, let's meet the lineup.
Time to turn and burn. You just heard Marty Soul. She's the first character that we created, and she's here to make a name for herself in the competition. This is not good for my brand deals. Janae is the influential superstar of Velocity, and you can spot her in various advertisements around in the city.
I'm not here to play nice. Time to win this one.
Coda grew up in the grind yard, busking on street corners with a guitar and scraping by on Defiance. She shreds loudly across the competition.
Nice try, but I'm keeping this lead.
Vesper's our king of the gambling halls, and when he wants to wager more, he goes all in on the skates. He always beats the odds.
Matches are a series of zone battles where players race, fight, and outlast each other for control. Sorry. Randy, go ahead.
I completely forgot. When a zone unlocks, players race to hold ground and stack up time. Once the timer's up, the winner gains a trophy, and the fight moves to the next zone. First to 3 trophies wins the title of Star of Velocity. To make skating in our game feel unique, we built our double button system so that each push feels like kicking your skates 1 foot at a time. This gives us a more tactile, physical feel instead of just holding forward like in other games. However, getting those physics right took a lot of time. We had to find the balance between making it feel smooth and responsive while still keeping that sense of momentum like real skating, where you can't just jump or turn on a dime. However, not everything should feel like real life. This is a game after all, so you can use Boost to gain a quick burst of speed whenever you need it.
And to keep your momentum going, you can grind on rails to stay fast and to cut across the map. So we started with local multiplayer, but we wanted players to be able to join from anywhere. So now, one player can start the match, the rest can join in to skate and battle and have fun.
So the UI support that build by being directed into the world with the dynamic camera menu and enemy character selector that keep everything feeling alive. When the player jumps in, it's all about speed, flow, and combat.
We wanted our combat system to be unique and dynamic, so we decided on tricking, a new acrobatic sport that combines elements of martial arts, gymnastics, and breaking. We implemented arcade fighter-style button combinations to ensure that tricks can be done rapidly and in succession. It's coming up.
We use motion capture to record the complex movements in our tricking combat system, allowing us to create a larger library of animations to choose from. Jess built a custom rig that could be used across all of our characters, saving us time when editing and allowing us to focus on making each character unique.
When we started this project, we knew that we wanted to push boundaries. We discovered a system called the Mocapi, which is a portable motion capture system, and knew that it would be a unique way to engage with our game in a more physical way. We are extremely happy with the results of this. Though it was a developmental feat, we actually will be bringing it to the SIGGRAPH conference in Vancouver this summer.
I did most of the motion capture acting for our basic tricks, but we wanted to implement unique tricks for each of the characters that reflected higher level skills from the world of tricking. We selected 4 tricks from different styles that we felt represented each of the characters' unique personalities.
Bienvenidos a mi dominio.
For Marisol, the pop hurricane kick.
Time to hit the high notes, baby.
For Coda, the airdrop 1990.
I'm going all in.
For Vesper, the frappe.
This is how perfection looks.
And for Janae, the Parafuso twist hyper. These are the actual names from the real world of tricking.
Velocity has 3 main districts, each with its own unique energy and style. The skate park is an abandoned shipping area packed with ramps and pipes. The concert is in the heart of the city where players can fight against each other to capture the zone right on stage. And the Starlight Hotel rooftop is our pool party zone set high above the city.
To bring these zones together, we built Velocity as a compact open world with fast movement between zones and tight spaces for combat. Getting that flow right across 3 interconnected districts was one of our biggest challenges, but the spaces between zones mattered too. We didn't want players skating through empty space, so we filled it. The result is a world that's always in motion where players can choose new paths and new ways to stay in the fight.
Each district in our game has its own custom track to match the style and energy of the area. The music changes as you enter new zones and ramps up. Let's take a listen.
To all of the people that have supported us throughout this project, our advisors, Rob Lloyd, Tony Rowe, Nick Jashishin, and Jeff Salvage, our amazing voice actors, Sam, Tabitha, Sky, and Nate, as well as our motion capture actors, Kirsten and Q, as well as so many more who have assisted us. Scan the QR code in front to wishlist our games soon, check us out on social media, and follow for updates. Now, I hope that you guys all can check us out at our booth to
Stay fast, stay fast.
All right, water cooler fish, thanks for bringing us to a great end. I will take this, and I will take this. I will take the other things, too. I will take all the gifts away from you. All right, well done, water cooler fish. Project Velocity. I still need that clicker, actually. Apparently, I forgot my job, but you all did your job incredibly well. I would like to have the entire senior cohort come on down to the stage and join us. Ladies and gentlemen, your 25th graduating class from Digital Media, Drexel University. Incredible job, all of you, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, your graduates. Come on forward, come on forward. Step into the light, step into the light. Meet me here, meet me here, meet me here. Right here, right here. Yeah. All right, short and tall, top hats, somewhere in the middle. All right. Oh my God. This is not just digital media students. This is computer science students. This is music industry students. This is custom design majors. This represents almost 100 students from multiple departments across the university working their butts off for over a year to make these projects come real. And I want to congratulate all of you. I'm going to get a ridiculously bad pano on my phone. And Rose, our super event photographer, who is incredibly agile, by the way. Thank you, Rose. All right, I got to put this down so I can do the pano. Everybody stay where you are. And then we'll do faculty. We got to get faculty in this. All right. All right, we're going to do individual team photos as the expo begins, but I'd love to bring down all the faculty, but we're going to let you all, we'll bring the house lights up and let the expo begin. The catering is ready to feed you all. Again, one more time, one more big round of applause. These guys are amazing. Each and every one of you, congratulations. Go show off your projects at the expo. Thank you so much for being here. I've been your host, Rob Lowe, and I am so thankful for you to be here today. Enjoy the expo, enjoy the food. Thanks for being here. All right, Drexel Digital Media faculty, come on down and join me center stage here. Please join me, Drexel faculty. All right. Hey, Glenn. Congratulations on the Lindy Award.
You get better every year.
Jason raised the bar. All right, I think this is pretty good.
When do we shout tickets?
You missed it, man. You missed it. All right, do we have 100% of our digital media faculty center stage, center court? Please, Dean. All right, yeah. Rose, where are you, Rose? Rose to center.